Free beer and hot wings in the morning. Grand Rapids rocks all day. 97.9 GRD rocks.
Partly to mostly sunny today, 26 the high. It's about 18.
Looks nice outside, though.
It does. Wind chill takes it around 10 right now. So there's a news story that we know a little bit about, but we want to learn more. And our interest was piqued at a story of a couple guys rubbing cake batter all over themselves to go and protest at the meeting. But there's more to it than that. And
yeah.
Involves the Line 5 pipeline protesters want shut down.
It's funny how much national news I can watch every day and be completely unaware of some of the things going on in my own state.
Yeah, I can get the stuff in, like I get the stuff in Grand Rapids. I pay attention to that.
Sure.
But state stuff, unless an entire city's water is being poisoned or a sports team's moving, I seem to miss it.
Yeah, it's not covered very well, oftentimes.
This story from Lansing.
People raised their voices today in support of the Great Lakes. They say the 63-year-old Enbridge Line 5 pipeline is at risk of polluting the lakes with oil. Christopher Lane spoke with protesters, including one who wanted to show what it would look like if the line broke.
Many people are worried about the Enbridge Line 5 pipeline.
My Indian name is Bagizzo, and it means the one who is swimming, so that makes the water and the fish my friends.
Oh,
Bagizzo.
Okay, all right. They wanted to show what it would look like.
Or Riley.
Broke.
I don't want you to bring your kid shirtless, covered in cake batter to a meeting.
Yeah.
And his grandfather covered their bodies in oil for the public comment at the Michigan Pipeline Safety Advisory Board meeting.
It's a young-looking grandpa, by the way.
Yeah, I thought it was his dad.
I did, too.
Yeah, I assumed so.
1,000 words, right? And it's really difficult to think into the future and see what our wildlife will look like if that pipe.
We cannot take you seriously when you are covered in chocolate cake frosting.
He seems so thoughtful.
No.
He is, but he's standing there shirtless.
Yeah.
Looks like Joe Dirt just thawed out his nice thing from the airline.
You have a great point, I'm sure.
He should borrow the dude's do-rag in the back and wipe his face off.
Yeah, that guy, boy, now there's a specimen right there.
You know what? Remember when I thought that the guy in cake batter looked ridiculous?
Yeah.
Never mind.
Nope.
There's a man in back of him dressed in a multicolored trash bag.
If I was only raised by my mom, that would be me.
That's actually hard to describe.
It's funny because when I lived with my mom in Hilton Head, that would have been my style choice as well.
Is that what happens when there's not a father in the picture?
Yes. Yeah,
Which is
absolutely.
weird. I didn't know I got that much fashion sense from my dad, but
Line breaks. And I can only imagine that our fish will look like this. They'll be dying, laying up on the
Kid
beach.
Rock?
Yeah, that's what he.
I mean, tell me that doesn't. When he turned his, when Awful Dresser turned his head, I'm telling you, it looked like Kid Rock,
dude.
I gotta go back.
I think
go
it's
back just a little bit as the cameraman is walking in front.
You mean you're not the guy that's chocolate covered and speak?
No,
you mean
the guy in the awful clothes.
Justin's mom's spawn.
Yeah, the dirty guy talking to us looks like a Kid Rock fan. The guy in back of him just has that like white trash Michigan gene face going on.
Yeah, watch.
Our fish will look like this. They'll be dying, laying up on the beach.
Looks like Kid Rock.
Birds will be, their feathers will be full of oil. They'll be laying, dying on the beach. We'll be out there trying to clean them with dish soap.
Fred Harris.
Meanwhile, his grandson's like, when can we eat this chocolate?
Yeah.
Just
so cold.
He's like,
when will you get the cats to lick this off?
What'd you do with Grandpa today, son? Oh, God.
Oh, no. Seriously?
Dad, what did you take him to do? Oh, no.
It's cool. I just
You said no more dog tracks.
Covered them in cake batter and got the rest of the boxcar Michiganders together to go to a town hall meeting. Yeah. No problem.
I might actually agree with them, but I'm
sure
so distracted by the cake.
I am positive
if a pipeline
that I do.
is that old, it's probably due.
Yeah.
For an upgrade of some sort, but I don't
Remembers
know.
when he was a kid, being able to drink the water as he hiked with his father. He thinks if the pipeline breaks, it will pollute the fresh water sources that make Michigan what it is. But Enbridge
you shouldn't be drinking that water anyway.
No.
Especially when that guy was a kid.
Here's the thing. This is something everyone should take seriously because what do we have here? We have our lakes.
Yeah.
That's the big draw.
Every summer, people go out. People go out to the lake, and that's why people would come from out of state, because it's beautiful.
Yes.
So
This is what makes us way better than Arizona and California.
Yeah, plus-
we have our own.
If all the water gets poisoned with the oil leak, how are we going to sell it to Nestle for $200 for a lifetime?
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
They don't
exactly.
want that then.
Yeah, then it's no good to anybody.
Says that won't happen. In a presentation at the board meeting, a representative said the pipeline was just as strong as it was when it was built 63 years ago. To be sure, they say there will be water tests on the pipeline to show it's still in good shape in 2017. But Harrington is one of many that doesn't want to run the risk.
The ecological disaster that we'll have when it breaks is just unfathomable to me. It scares me to death.
I'm struck by this guy's his desire to protest, but his willingness to commit to order, because he's very polite.
Yeah.
Again, he's standing shirtless, covered in chocolate batter.
He's thoughtful, yes.
Yet he still put the name tag over his left breast. Hello,
Oh, yeah.
my name is George.
So did grandson.
Yeah,
Lead by
I-
example.
Yeah,
We're not jerks, son. We just need cake
Yeah,
to illustrate a point.
We are not uncivilized.
I just cannot imagine why we would allow it to continue.
He hopes his comments will urge the board to tell the governor to stop the pipeline. In Lansing, Christopher Lane, Fox 47 News.
The board will have.
Somebody was dressed. I guess that was supposed to be a sturgeon.
But it looked like a shark.
It looked like a shark.
Like,
I
you don't even
think
know
they
it's in the Great Lakes.
Yeah, I don't think they know what fish look like.
Made out of tinfoil.
Have one more meeting in June before it reports to the governor and attorney general. We will keep tracking this story for you.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
I wonder what percentage of Michigan people know about that.
The
Not
people
many.
who
I mean, we
listen
did.
to-
About
What-
4%.
How many people listen to NPR? That's how many people.
Yeah.
That's it.
This is the moment when the guy with the cake batter got up to speak at the meeting inside,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I bet he does pretty well after seeing him
Probably.
with the news
He seems
cameras.
fairly thoughtful.
Yeah.
You know, whether you agree with him or not, he seems like a well-spoken man.
Who wouldn't agree?
Can you imagine? I
What
bet
type
you
of
he
person
finished
doesn't
talking.
agree with him?
And the guy at the commissions, like on the commission or on the committee there, went, well, I'm not going to lie. We thought you'd be a raving lunatic.
Yeah.
And I didn't listen to the words you were saying because I was so shocked that you
Yeah.
weren't going, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I was really prepared to just go, okay, sit down.
Yes.
So could you say that again?
But in a more lunatic-y way.
I didn't hear you.
Any type of leak? What we wanted to do was show you what the birds will look like, what our fish will look like, what the shoreline will look like if that pipeline breaks.
How about a picture?
And if we
Yeah.
continue
I would
to
need a
let it
picture,
run and run and run year after year, it will break.
I believe this pipe
Yeah.
is some
That was.
Not bad. None of them were paying attention. They were all like,
No,
making
they
notes.
weren't.
Don't look at the cake, man.
Which is sad because he obviously believes in it so much.
Oh
that
my gosh,
He
yeah.
dressed
Oh, he
up and-
definitely does. He went all the way from Petoskey down there. That's a not
And
a
what's
short
up with
drive.
ponytails in this town?
Can we hear what Dr. Ed Tim, retired Dow scientist,
Not
was,
down.
was part Dow.
Yeah,
again,
so he's
Dow.
got a ponytail too.
But he was author of an independent technical report on Line 5.
Yeah.
compromised metal in it in certain sections. I believe that information needs to be fed to the people that are trying to do a fitness for service determination for this board. However, I don't think they can do it. I don't think task 3.4 of the biota investigation, which is the stress analysis. You take all this biota information, all this coding information, all the current information, and plug it into a stress analysis, and that gives you the answer you're looking for. I don't think they can do task 3.4. I don't think dynamic risk can properly evaluate option 5 without having better current data under the straits.
Can you dumb it down a little, sir?
Yeah, way to be an engineer while you're at the podium.
Could you dumb it down a little bit? Because I think you agree with the guy wearing chocolate.
I don't know.
But I can't tell for sure.
What all of those things mean.
I
don't
To be
know.
clear,
I don't
it's
know.
not his fault. We're stupid.
No, because
well,
who
it
he's
is, yeah,
talking
but-
to probably
Yeah,
understands
they
everything
probably
he's talking
do,
about.
but all the regular residents there, when you're talking about level 5 stress analyses and whatnot, you go, okay, I don't know what that means. Does that mean you put like pressure into the pipe to see if it cracks a little or
think
what?
so.
I
You
don't
know, like
know.
A bleed test for your brakes.
We've learned a lot today.
We have.
Yeah. By the way, we don't need emails explaining it to us. I don't care.
Unless it is in
It's technical
the
jargon.
most layman
Yeah.
of terms.
Yes. Really dumb it down.
Yeah. You say it's like a compression test for an engine. I'll get that.
Yep. Shine down. The old Skinnerd covered. Simple Man. 97.9 GRD Rocks.
Well, Mama told me